950 and Sports FM 100.5. Streaming live at ESPN950AM.com.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
Good afternoon, I'm Bob Picozzi. Only 5 players rushed for more yards than he did a year ago. Texans running back Arian Foster will undergo surgery to repair a groin injury, and that procedure is tentatively scheduled for Monday. A source tells ESPN's Tanya Ganguly Foster suffered the injury in practice on Monday. The Ravens today denied that anyone in their organization tipped off the Colts before last January's AFC Championship game about the Patriots using underinflated footballs. Tom Brady appears at a federal court hearing 1 week from today in the suit challenging his 4-game suspension. Hearing today on Mike and Mike, ESPN's Chris Carter questioned Brady's credibility.
Him not knowing in those 2 weeks between the AFC Championship game and the Super Bowl and what the league might do pushed him into a corner that's leading to this defense that he didn't know anything. And I think that's just a flat-out lie.
NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell will also appear at that court hearing next Monday. In afternoon baseball in Chicago, the White Sox scored 5 times off Erasmo Ramirez in the bottom of the first. They now lead Tampa Bay 5-2 top 3. Avisail Garcia's hit a 3-run homer. Scott Kazmir makes his second start for the Astros tonight against the Rangers.
Sports Center is brought to you by Little Caesars. Try our soft pretzel crust pepperoni pizza for just $7. Or try our cheese and pretzel dippers, 16 pieces with creamy cheddar cheese dip at participating locations plus tax.
ESPN 950 and Sports FM 100.5. Now to the Richmond Sports Center. Here's Matt Josephs.
It is 3:01, day 6 of Redskins training camp as the afternoon practice session gets set to get underway. The team continuing to look for healthy cornerbacks to be a part of their secondary. Henrico Product, UVA's Draquan Hosky, as well as fellow corner Brian McCann, both worked out for the team this morning and are getting physicals now, according to reports. Texans will be in town tomorrow morning beginning at 8:35 with a practice. Safety Jerron Johnson and what he expects when Houston comes to town.
Still trying to be the best player that I can be. I've never actually practiced against another team during camp, so this is my first go-around. Not really sure what to expect, but it doesn't take away from what I have to do, and that's just play good football.
First FCS coaches poll has been released. The Spiders check in at 18th to start the season. They begin practice tomorrow afternoon. Elsewhere, JMU 13th, Liberty 14th. The Tribe looking outside on the outside looking in at 28th. Squirrels host New Hampshire tonight at 7 o'clock, while the Nats take on the Diamondbacks in D.C. Washington 1 game behind New York in the NL East. Coverage begins at 6:30 on ESPN 950, Sports FM 100.5. The Virginia Pilot reporting ODU has added football games with Hampton, VMI, and Buffalo. The Keydets will play at the Monarchs in 2018. You've been updating the Richmond Sports Center.
This Sports Center update is brought to you by Geico, proudly serving the military since 1936. See for yourself by contacting Geico today for a free rate quote. Call 1-800-947-AUTO or visit geico.com.
You're listening to live coverage of Washington Redskins training camp on ESPN 9 Sports FM 100 of the day. American Red Cross, helping people affected by disasters big and small since 1881. With volunteers, donors, students, and teachers. Find out how you can help at redcross.org.
Hello, my name is Reggie Gordon, CEO of Your American Red Cross in Virginia. Just like the Redskins are hard at work preparing for their season, our team is hitting the turf to help keep Virginians safe from disaster. Join our efforts to get ready VA by practicing your family's fire safety game plan. Build your disaster playbook at redcross.org/prepare.
Live from Washington Redskins training camp, you're listening. Driven by Midas of Richmond on ESPN 950 and Sports FM 100.5. Online at ESPN950AM.com and also available on your smartphone and tablet.
that are coming from outside the Richmond community a vested stake in Richmond, more so than just doing their event here. So I love the work that the Redskins Foundation is doing. It's that type of stuff is near and dear to me. I had my late mother did the Operation Smile stuff, and I think that kind of stuff is way more important than some of the other things we focus on.
It's great to have you out here, man.
Yeah, it's hot, bro. Hot.
No doubt. Hot. Now you're rethinking wearing that black RR T-shirt today.
I try to keep it classy.
But it's dry fit.
Yeah, it's dry fit. It's wicking. It's wicking away the humidity.
You got you've had a busy summer. Obviously, we've had you on a bunch. You guys have been doing great work.
Yeah.
But you're going to a really cool event here in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Our buddy Patrick Higgins and the Connect Sports Convention coming up August 25th through 30th.
Yeah.
Bill Clinton's the keynote speaker.
How crazy is that, man?
Man.
I know. It came down to like Barkley, and this is how
Charles Barkley?
This is how powerful Bill Clinton is. So the budget could because I'm on their board. It was either Charles Barkley and maybe like a little bit from Kobe, but Bill Clinton took the entire budget. yeah. So it's like a couple of other guys they threw in, but yeah, Bill Clinton's like the entire budget. But it's exciting, Democrat or Republican. It's always exciting to meet the president.
And that's a really cool event, obviously, because again, we've had Patrick on the show.
Yeah.
You're on their board, and Connect Sports is the sort of sports tourism,
it's the biggest one we do.
Networker in the country.
Yeah, I mean, we do too. Like, there's Connect Sports and there's teams, and they're both kind of leaders in that industry. But Connect's a little bit longer, and they've now linked up with the U.S. Olympic Committee, so it's a longer show. It's about 5 days in Pittsburgh. But yeah, we're doing some really cool stuff, man. We're taking some clients to Pirates and the Rockies game at PNC, which is a great park. I actually reached out to Roberto Clemente's son. So they have a Roberto Clemente museum there. We rented out the entire museum, and his son is actually going to come and participate in that event for people that are associated with the U.S. Olympic Committee, like that represent sports. Because we're almost a year out, or a little bit under a year out for from the Rio game. So
it's 1 year from today.
Yeah.
It's 1 year from today.
So really starting to narrow down. Even though we're not hosting anything, we're hosting the fencing Olympic trials, but just our presence with the U.S. Olympic Committee is important because that's where the growth, lacrosse and the national governing bodies, that's where the growth has been since I've been here in the market.
Well, I want to make sure people realize that the USA Fencing Olympic Trials are going to be held here in Richmond next April. So the fencing team representing the USA that will go to Rio is going to be named here in Richmond. That's really exciting, man.
It's huge, man. I mean, people think fencing is a peripheral sport, but, I mean, at the end of the day, that's something legacy-wise that we can say, happened here in Richmond. And that team, whether it be, we haven't really decided what venue yet as far as the reception, but, all of the dignitaries, the international delegation are going to be here to see that team get named, and there's going to be a ceremonial
that's going to be
kind
awesome.
of passing forward. So we're excited about that, man.
And then also, you guys had a big win, with USA Taekwondo.
Yeah.
That's going to be here this time next year.
July 3rd through the 11th, and it's about 7,000 people. And they're here for 8 days, and
one of their biggest events.
It's the largest Taekwondo event in the world. And
come on,
and yes, and it's never been in a city on the East Coast smaller than Atlanta. So we're excited about it. I mean, we wouldn't be able to do it here if we weren't a regional or metropolitan organization.
Wow,
because
that's so cool,
it took up almost 35 or 40 hotels to get it done.
That's really, really, really cool.
Yeah.
Another event that me and you have been involved with, the Eastern Zone Swim Meet, is down
today.
Right down at Collegiate School Aquatic Center, where Swim RVA is located. And that's another sort of really cool event. And again, Richmond once again is becoming more high profile when it comes to world-class swimming events.
Yeah, 1,200 swimmers for this event, and then we had Josh here back in February from Mesa, Arizona. So we finalized that partnership. So Adam Kennedy from Collegiate School or Swim RVA, myself, and Josh from Mesa, we're all going to Kansas City for Richmond's first time going to the U.S. Aquatics Convention.
Wow.
Yeah, so we're going to share a space with Mesa, Arizona, and really just try to target water polo, growth of aquatic sports that will work in that facility, and trying to become, a partner city with Mesa. They're a little bit larger. They have 10 to 15 different pool facilities, but they're all outdoor.
Wow.
So if we can partner West Coast, East Coast, that's what Josh and I have been working on since we met in February, and That we just finalized that the other day, so we're looking forward to it.
That's awesome, man. Really, really great stuff.
Yeah. Eagles 11-5, by the way.
I was just gonna.
Yeah, I know. I can.
Uneven talent, right?
I can smell your brain trying to get me caught up.
I was gonna all right, let's get to the Redskins.
Yeah,
let's get to the Redskins.
Well, I'm out here just scouting for Chip, and he's got a lot on his plate. So he's sending me.
Real.
I'm helping him with his minority initiatives.
Chip, holy God!
But we were talking about it earlier. I really, as an African American, I'm sensitive to those types of things, and I pay attention to those types of articles. I really just think that he's an introverted, weird dude, man. I really just think
most high-functioning people are. Right?
That's exactly what I said earlier. I was like, Mark Zuckerberg, all these people that are touted as geniuses of what they do. They don't have people skills.
It's mediocre people like me that are outgoing. Right? The mediocre people, we have to make up for it by being loud.
I just hope that some smoking gun. I hope some smoking gun doesn't come out to make me wrong on Chip. But I don't feel like that's the situation. Now I'm really, as a fan, as a heavily invested fan, I'm really questioning the moves. And I want to see what kind of product you put out there. But I mean, I'm not gonna go there right away. I'm just gonna say he's. If people, go against his logic, he has a quick hook.
Well, here's what I would tell any Eagles fan, Cowboys fan, Giants fan, because I have them all in my different family members and friends. I think this Redskins defense is going to be better if Junior Gillette does get going, to have Gillette on one side and have Kerrigan on the other. Plus, that front three, Pot Roast is a beast, dude.
Yeah.
That guy's a beast. Hatcher and then Paya, they're nice, man. No, I think now the backside, I'm not sure because I still think they have an issue with safety and corner.
Secondary's got an issue, but here's the thing: is this is not going to be. I mean, first of all, the Eagles lost in D.C. last year anyway, and the game they had to win, they lost. So I don't ever think it's a layup. When you play, and I think they're getting better. I think Gruden's getting his players and for his system in here. I mean, he's not in his first year anymore, so. I don't know, man. I'm still going 11-5, man.
It's going to be interesting. Yeah.
Eagles got a tough schedule.
Because I think the Giants are going to be better. I mean, I think they're going to be better on offense. Defense, we'll see.
Who knows what you're getting from the Giants, man?
Right. The Cowboys, I mean, I read a great stat. It's been over 75 years since a team lost the league's leading rusher, right? And he went to go play for another team.
Isn't McFadden hurt already?
Oh, is he?
I think he's hurt already.
Matt, is McFadden hurt already?
There was something on Twitter about it.
I just assume he is.
Yeah, he got out of bed. Yeah,
he was having a bagel and he tripped and he gets hurt a bunch, man. He gets hit a bunch. Thanks for coming out, man.
Thank you. For
really good to see. By the way, you got a friend out here today who just so happened is rocking a really cool Sean Taylor shirt.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, Sean Taylor's dad here. He's like, what?
Yeah,
he loved that, man. Sean Taylor's dad loved your shirt.
I'm gonna clown him to his wife. He did a cartwheel on the way over.
He absolutely
did to get his shirt size.
Dude,
yeah.
He was like,
I was like, you're 35. Don't do cartwheels. Yeah,
but that was
cool.
That was pretty cool.
Cool moment. And his dad said to him, "Thanks for repping my son." That was really cool.
Yes,
that's
exactly
cool.
what he said.
Yeah.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you, man.
Have a great time in Pittsburgh. We'll up with you after that.
Absolutely.
Let's do a quick timeout. One with the Washington Times. More on the Skins. Practice underway here on day 6. Our training camp coverage continues on ESPN 950.
You're listening to Hardly Working with Greg Burton, driven by Midas of Richmond. Live from Washington Redskins training camp on ESPN 950 and Sports FM 100.5.
Prevention is the best medicine. HCA Virginia Physicians reminds you that your annual physical with your primary care provider is an integral part of your overall health.
Okay.
During your physical, your doctor will take a
Professionals at Carpool. No coupon required. Just stop by our Mechanicsville Turnpike location, one of our 3 full-service locations on West Broad Street or Southside locations on Midlothian Turnpike or Hull Street. For more information, log on to carpoolcarwashes.com.
Hey sports fans, Atlantic Heating and Cooling is now part of Woodfin, your home team. From heating and cooling to electrical, plumbing, security, and more, Woodfin lives up to our long-standing reputation as your #1 faithful friend. Our dedicated team of heating and cooling technicians, master plumbers, and master electricians bring decades of knowledge and experience to each and every call. We welcome the opportunity to faithfully serve you.
And now, the continuing adventures of Burger Man and Fry Guy.
Hello, my children. Have we died?
And gone to heaven?
Well, almost. You're at the new Carytown Burgers and Fries in Short Pump.
You mean the same heavenly Carytown Burgers and Fries I've been loving in...
About 90 seconds left, then I'll start the interview.
In Short Pump? Yes, voted #1 burger in Richmond for over a decade and #1 vegetarian restaurant. Carytown Burgers and Fries, now in Short Pump behind Ethan Allen. And don't forget their Lakeside and Carytown locations. It's not just a burger anymore.
Can you handle a full rack? Buzz can. He's been smoking, chopping, saucing, and glazing barbecue his way for over 30 years, specializing in succulent spare, tender baby back, and jumbo beef ribs with recipes handed down for generations. And don't forget about the award-winning pulled pork sandwiches, cooked daily over Buzz's signature hickory smoked wood. Stop by the original location at 1119 North Boulevard in the Fan, or the new Buzz & Ned's Real Barbecue at 8205 West Broad Street in the West End.
Daddy, can you reach Mr. Biggles?
Almost, honey. One more branch. Got it. Honey, go get Mom and tell her I'm hanging upside down from a tree.
Okay, Daddy, just go to your happy place.
Happy place. Happy place.
Welcome to Union.
Thanks.
Our free checking really is free. No minimum balance or hidden fees.
And no cats.
Excuse me?
Nothing. When you're ready to feel good about where you bank, bank at union.com. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Like us on Facebook.
Training camp coverage on ESPN 950 and Sports FM 100.5 is brought to you by Pizza Hut, within walking distance of Redskins training camp at 2343 West Broad Street. Today's coverage on ESPN 950 and Sports FM 100.5 is presented by HCA Virginia. Our exclusive broadcasts are also brought to you by Arthur's Electric, Joe Dunn at George Mason Mortgage, and Starbucks on the Boulevard.
Hardly working live at Redskins training camp. We're presented by Midas of Richmond, and happy to have our good buddy, another one of our Redskin insiders from the Washington Times, Zach Boyer. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Great to see you here, brother. Great to have you here.
Thanks, Greg. Yeah,
hey,
definitely.
So they're back on the field, and you know we're 5 days through camp, and maybe one of the biggest storylines. Obviously, we always look at the quarterback. You know this,
sure.
right?
Right.
But the fact that Robert has been almost like has done what they've asked him, right? No criticism.
Yeah.
No real setbacks. Like he's kind of been steady Eddie for the first 5 days.
Yeah, and I would think that's probably where he needs to be. I mean, you're not realistically expecting that guy to walk in from day one and set this place on fire. It's just the body of work has just shown it's not something that's going to happen for him. So what he needed to do was come in here and show, you know what? I've got some rough spots, and I'll acknowledge those rough spots, but here's what I've done, here's what I've done, here's what I've done. Let's work on this. And I think he's done a pretty good job of that. I mean, he's not. There's no headlights. There's no spotlights. There's nothing where it's just the fact where it's just like, wow, you know, he's just radiating this glow. It's just he is a magnificent quarterback. But again, it's not even like it was last year either. I mean, last year you could see him out here. You're just like, oh my goodness. And the Patriots walk in, and Tom Brady's put on a clinic in a field, 30 yards away, and you're just thinking, whoa, these are two different teams this year. It's not even to that point. Maybe we'll learn that kind of thing when the Texans come to town. I don't think it'll be. I mean, obviously with the Texans, you're not going to see that much of a contrast, but I just think with him, he's done a good enough job so far to put himself in a position to be respectable. And that's setting the bar really low, but that's what he needed to do. He needed to show that when he had a first full off season, when he could just get his nose in the playbook, watch the film, do stuff that he needs to do, he could do it. And if that's what you've got from him, if he's held up his end of the bargain, now he's got to keep doing it.
And that performance and that execution has earned him some praise from the other day to Deshaun Jackson and certainly Jay Gruden. Do you get the sense they're almost going out of their way to build up his confidence?
Oh, sure. And I think they've been going out of their way to do that for months now. I mean, I think even from, even as Jay walked off of that podium for the last time last December and said to all of us, It's going to be a competition for months. It's going to be something we're going to look at in training camp. There's got 3 guys coming in here. I don't know if you can get time for 3 guys, but we'll find some way to do it, that kind of stuff. To turn around in Indianapolis in February and say, Robert's the starter, well, it was such a curious move. What has happened from 6 weeks ago to now to decide, wait, you're going to all of a sudden name this guy the starter? But you think about it, Robert's a confident guy. I mean, he's almost too confident for his own good, which is fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. If you're that way and you've been that way, that's fine. But to deal with that setback every once in a while, that's going to be hard for that guy to manage. So it's not a confident guy. He always has had that. But to foster that within him, to say, you know what, last year was last year. Here's the blueprint. Let's do this, 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 and this, and connect the dots and move on. That's the important part. That's where you can say to him, look, you've done this. We need you to do this. You've done this. You're doing a good job. Pat him on the back, pat him on the backside, get him going, orient him in the right direction. All of that stuff has been to just say, forget about last year. Let's move forward. And he needs that. He's a confident guy, but he needed that.
I like that. Zach Boyer joining us. And, again, you mentioned this, and this. The biggest THIS is running the football.
Sure, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because I think Robert had that quote, they're not asking me to be Superman. They're not. I mean, it really, all of this really hinges on, can they run the football?
The problem is he has asked himself to be Superman. So now that he's taken that step
100%.
back, now that he's taken that step back and has realized that maybe it's 3 years too late, his first year aside, you can understand why he put himself in that mindset. But you the next year, whatever, you look back, you got to take that step back. So carry on with your point.
Yeah, just saying. So let's talk about that. I think 5 days, we have no idea whether they're going to be able to run the football or not. It's way too early.
Sure.
But just what have you seen from this, revamped offensive line? And obviously, the X factor might be Bill Callahan, who seems to really be having an impact.
Yeah, I mean, he was brought in with a dump truck full of money to come in here and revamp this run game. And it's funny how it faded, really, the minute Shanahan left. This was Shanahan's running game. This has been Shanahan's running game since the mid-'90s. This was his bread and butter. This was how he ran the zone scheme. This was his thing. You come in here as Jay Gruden, and you keep most of the guys intact because, look, you've got a lot of changes to make, but you can't make all the changes at once. You decide, you know what, the running game was serviceable. It wasn't serviceable. It was a great running game the year before. Come in here, keep that intact, keep the guys intact, keep the coach intact, Chris Forster, the offensive line coach, keep the run game coordinator intact, which was Chris, and just move on from that. And it didn't work. It just, for one reason or another, injuries, personnel issues, there were a lot of them. It just didn't work for them. So they went back in this offseason, and you get Bill Callahan, who had been the head coach. I mean, you know his resume, with Oakland, with Nebraska even, didn't have a great time. But he's done things at a high level. He's been a coordinator at the very least for the better part of the last 2 decades. Comes in here as a position coach, which is a heck of a humbling thing, but, it's a guy who's going to get paid handsomely to do so. And you say, rebuild our offensive line, rebuild our run game. Here are things I want to do. How can you do this? They wanted to be, Jay Gruden has wanted to be a power running football team since the minute he was hired. That was something he's wanted to do, didn't have the ability to do so. Callahan's going to come in here and do it. So you get that, you get guys who can play that scheme, you get guys who are strong, big, athletic, lean, mean guys like Sheriff, like Long, come in here and make that scheme work. That's going to be the biggest part for them, because if they can run that football, that's an if, it's still an if they can run that football, it's going to take so much pressure off the quarterback and open up so many more different things in the play-action game. It gets you back to 2012. That makes you think, offensively, where could you go?
Since we're talking about the running game, let's kind of handicap sort of the running back situation, the tailback situation. Alfred Morris, you have Silas Redback, and then, of course, they drafted Matt Jones, who obviously they like a lot. What do you think the pecking order? I mean, we know Alfred's there, but what do you handicap it for us?
Well, Alfred's there, but I think the big thing for Alfred is he's in his contract year now. I was talking to some people yesterday. He's into the point where he's getting into the contract discussion phase, which is a little lofty, but it's early. You got to at least lay the groundwork on something like that. But for him, it's going to be all about proving he can make this change. Because remember last year when he's averaging 4.1 yards a carry, that's down almost a half a yard a carry from the previous 2 years. That's a drop-off. It's not substantial, but it's noticeable. Right. And a lot of that is the circumstances of the game. And a lot of that is whatever it may be. That's fine. What he needs to do is he needs to come out here and prove with the things that he's going to be asked to do that he can handle them. Because I think this season is going to predicate so much on the contract that he gets in March, that he needs to make sure that he's taking care of business now and he's going to thrive within the scheme. So I think he'll get the chance to do that. That's not a doubt in my mind. I think what you're going to see from Matt Jones is you're going to see a guy who's going to come in, be a third down back, be a change of pace guy. He's a big bruising downhill type of runner. He's a big fella. He's 6'1", 6'2", a punishing kind of guy. But the problem with him is when he came out of Florida, he wasn't so polished because they were running out 4 and 5 guys a game.
No doubt.
So you got to ask him, can he catch passes? He thinks he can. He's actually really confident he can. Can he block? Can he do those kinds of things that you need him to do? And that's great. So if he can do that, I could see him picking up 300, 400, 500 yards. Nothing gargantuan, but a spot where he can be a reasonable contributor. I mean, 500 yards would actually be pretty lofty for him. But if he can knock out 300, 400 yards, that's a good backup role. And then you're going to look back. You got Chris Thompson, who's still around here, who is the speediest, shiftiest guy, who's so impossible to get a read on these practices because the first couple of days they're not getting pads on and they're not hitting. So how fast is he hitting the holes? How fast is he seeing the holes? How well is he actually playing in that role? Then you've got Silas Red, who made the team last year, an undrafted guy out of Southern California who was pretty good. So those two guys are still kicking around, getting a chance here to fight for reps. The task is replacing Roy Halou, which, from a change of pace, from a catching role, from a receiving type of standpoint, is going to be a challenge. He was not the greatest blocker in the world, so you're not, probably by default you're getting an upgrade there. But it's going to be a situation where those guys are going to be needed to be counted on this season if they're going to get the rest of the offense clicking.
Is there a guy so far in camp that you maybe think has, I don't know if disappointing is too strong a word, either disappointing or really isn't doing enough to distinguish himself? A guy who's coming in, like we were throwing this around, like I completely forgotten about Philip Thomas.
Sure, yeah.
That's like one guy who came in with high expectations, the injuries, and I haven't seen him do really much of anything.
Yeah.
We talk about a position of need. Is there a guy like that for you? Or
yeah, it's tough with Philip Thomas, and I don't even think he's going to make the team. And it's unfortunate because he's probably one of the nicest human beings I've ever met in the sport. Because he's just an articulate guy, a thoughtful guy who knows what his limitations are and is trying to overcome them, and just doesn't seem to be able to do so. Especially when I was going to say they're recruited over him. They didn't. But when they bring in guys over him, you're squeezed out.
I like recruited over them. That is a good.
Right?
That's a good term.
So he's in a tough spot. The guy I think that stands out to me. There's actually two guys who stand out to me, both on defense, because that's where a lot of so much is so unsettled about the defense. There's two guys to me who I think have been a little underwhelming so far. And the first guy is Jerron Johnson, who was brought in here from Seattle, who is still learning the nuances of his role and his position. But so much was made about, there's this guy who played for 4 years behind Earl Thomas and Cam Chancellor, and he's going to know, and he's going to be physical, and he's going to hit, and he's going to bring Seattle here. And he's still in a position battle. And he's still in a position battle with a guy who was hurt of last season, who was I think he was Ganacho was even an undrafted guy a couple years ago out of San Jose State. Played 1 year as a starter for the Broncos, did reasonably well, but you're in a position battle with that guy now that's dragged on since April. So what's going on there? If you're 3 years, $6 million, that's fine. You're low risk investment. At the very least, he's going to be a quality special teams guy because he was a quality special teams guy in Seattle, so you get that going for you. But he's a guy who I thought, I would have liked to see more out of him so far. Again, same caveats. It's really hard to see safeties in this kind of a situation. So I want to see, that's why Saturday when they're scrimmaging against the Texans, not scrimmage, but the control scrimmage is going to be so much more interesting with him. And the other guy I think is kind of underwhelming has been Preston Smith.
I did, yeah.
Is to actually do something, and I don't expect him to do something in a way because Trent Murphy was supposed to be the guy who was going to take that leap this offseason, who was going to step in there and really solidify his role opposite Ryan Kerrigan at that outside linebacker spot. And that, for as much as the coaches can say he's done so well in the OTAs and he's been really, hammering home the things he needed to work on, that's fine. But you go out and you get Junior Gillette to replace him, and then you move Murphy to a backup role, and then now what does that mean for Smith? So Smith just hasn't done anything. There was one, they did the one-on-one drills out here the other day, O-line, D-line, or basically just these guys going at it one-on-one, trying to get to the quarterback. And only once in all of that time did I see Preston Smith actually even make a move on a guy to get by him. Every other time, whether it be Brandon Scherf or Morgan Moses, these guys were holding him. Brandon Scherf should hold him in check. I understand that. But he just was not doing anything to flash. And that was a situation where I thought this guy was taken with a second-round pick. He obviously had high hopes for him. He was kind of considered a reach at that spot anyway. That stuff being thrown out, he's just not a guy who has done enough, I think, to this point to really say, hey, you know what, if he ended up having to be the backup, which is probably not a situation anymore, what are you going to do when you get in there?
Yeah. It'll be interesting. Both of those guys step forward as the Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It's certainly a chance to shine. And then what unit for the Redskins do you think it'll be the biggest test for, challenge, or maybe we'll learn the most about by facing, an opposition? Is it the O-line? Just because they're going to have to go up against a J.J. Watt?
I think that's got to be it. And then they're not going to the sad thing is they're not going to go up against in the traditional. You're not
Right.
playing week 1 of the season like last year out here, which I would really like to see. And you're not going to get the Clowney effect either, so you kind of lose out a little bit there. I think that's going to be a challenge. I think the left side is fine. I think for the most part the left side is
Right.
fine. The right side, I want to see how the two new guys. I want to see how Long and Sheriff can handle up there, because if they can hold their own against these guys this weekend. Good thing for them. I think the expectations are that they're probably going to get bruised and battered a little bit, but if they can at least hold their own, I think that's probably what is being expected, and that's, I think, going to be beneficial for them.
Great stuff from Zach Boyer of the Washington Times. Always appreciate it, buddy.
Thanks, Greg.
Great stuff. Quick timeout. We'll come back. More Hardly Working ahead. Stick around.
You're listening to Hardly Working with Greg Burton, driven by Midas of Richmond. Live from Washington Redskins training camp on ESPN 950 and Sports FM 100.5.
There's a reason I've been using Promotional Considerations for almost 10 years, and a reason they've been an industry leader in Richmond for more than 25 years. They get the job done right. Promotional Considerations handles jobs big and small with the same commitment and attention to detail. When you need promotional items for your next event, call Promotional Considerations 288-2224 or online promoconsiderations.com. Official provider of merchandise for Richmond 2015.
Herman Allen Plumbing and Heating has provided Metro Richmond and Central Virginia with quality service from our certified technicians for over 50 years, serving you when you need us most around the clock. Herman Allen Plumbing and Heating is now a division of Bantam's Plumbing, a locally owned family-run company. We also offer deferred interest financing for up to 18 months for any major purchase. Now's the time to take care of that project you've been waiting for. Contact us at 746-5853. At Herman Allen, we want to be your plumber.
Can your business wait for yesterday's technology to meet today's demands? Of course not. IT demands a new breed of speed. Comcast Business with Comcast Business Internet, you'll get download speeds up to 66 times faster than T1 and DSL. You'll also get unlimited local and nationwide calling and TV with networks that will keep your customers informed and entertained all at a great price. So get Comcast Business Internet, voice, and TV today. Don't wait. Call 800-501-6000 today to sign up. Your business can't wait. Restrictions apply, not available in all areas.
Hey sports fans! Atlantic Heating and Cooling is now part of Woodfin, your home team. From heating and cooling to electrical, plumbing, security, and more, Woodfin lives up to our long-standing reputation as your #1 faithful friend. Our dedicated team of heating and cooling technicians, master plumbers, and master electricians bring decades of knowledge and experience to each and every call. We welcome the opportunity to faithfully serve you.
ESPN 950 and Sports FM 100.5. Now to the Richmond Sports Center. Here's Matt Josephs.
It is for 3:39, day 6 of Redskins training camp. They are on the practice field making moves off the field. Henrico Brockton, UVA corner Draquan Hosky, as well as Brian McCann have both been signed by the Redskins, while the team has released safety Phillip Thomas as well as Tevin Mitchell. The Texans will be in town beginning tomorrow morning at 8:35. Coach Jay Gruden was asked today, is he at all concerned about his cornerback depth?
Yeah, we were a little bit, Breland and then Emerson and D. Hall's, getting his time off also. So we're a bit light back there, but, with Emerson, hopefully he'll be back tomorrow. We added, a guy here and there. So we're working on our depth there, but it's always a challenge. It seems like every year in camp there's one position that gets hit with the injury bug, and it's corner right now, but, I think we'll fight through it.
First FCS coaches poll has been released. Spiders check in 18th to start the season. They begin practice tomorrow afternoon. Elsewhere, JMU 13th, Liberty 14th, Tribe outside looking in at 28th. Carilion has bought the naming rights to Castle Coliseum for $500,000 for each of the next 10 years. The court will now be named Virginia Tech Carilion Court. Squirrels host New Hampshire tonight at 7 o'clock, while the Nats take on the Diamondbacks in D.C. Washington, one game behind New York in the standings. Coverage begins at 6:30 on ESPN 950, Sports FM 100.5. 3:40, you've been updating Richmond Sports Center.
Hey, Richmond homeowners, Matt Conley here with Window World, America's largest replacement window company, giving you a chance to win a Washington Redskins VIP training camp experience.
Hey folks, Jermaine Moore here. Go to WinterWorldRichmond.com, click on the Redskins banner, and schedule a free in-home estimate for your chance to win.
Remember to score big with Window World. Go to WinterWorldRichmond.com. Window World, a proud sponsor of the Washington Redskins training camp.
Nobody gets you closer to the Redskins than Window World. Window World, simply the best for less.
Hello, my name is Reggie Gordon, CEO of Your American Red Cross in Virginia. Just like the Redskins are hard at work preparing for their season, our team is hitting the turf to help keep Virginians safe from disaster. Join our efforts to get ready VA by practicing your family's fire safety game plan. Build your disaster playbook at redcross.org/prepare.
Today's coverage on ESPN 950 and Sports FM 100.5 is presented by HCA Virginia. Our exclusive broadcasts are also brought to you by All-Star Automotive, Carpool, and Papa John's Pizza.
Welcome back, Hardly Working. We are presented by Midas of Richmond, and thanks to Zach Boyer for coming on. I should have checked my email before we talked to Zach, because then we would have known two sort of really big things. One, the Redskins have signed Daquan Hosky and Brian McCann. So how cool. There's a second Richmond native on the Redskins roster right now. Daquan Hosky grew up about 5 miles from here, went to Henrico High, played at UVA, and they're thin at corner right now, so he's going to get a chance to get some reps. Brian McCann, too. And because of that, they waived Tevin Mitchell, who, of course, had the season-ending injury with a torn labrum. They also waived Philip Thomas. So we just got done talking about Philip Thomas and how he really hasn't made an impact. And now the guy that's been plagued by injuries, who's one of the nicest guys on this team, unfortunately, is being waived, and he's no longer a Redskin. So a tough deal for him there. We would not be able to provide you with a wall-to-wall coverage of Redskins training camp if it were not for all of the great sponsors. And today's sponsor of the day really is a brand that everybody knows. Maybe everybody knows in the world.
I think so, yeah.
Right, Reggie?
Yeah.
It's the American Red Cross.
American Red Cross.
Reggie Gordon is the CEO of the Greater Richmond chapter of the American Red Cross. How are you, Reggie?
I'm great. So glad to be here.
No, thank you. And your director of media relations, Jonathan.
Yes.
Has us on Periscope
he
live
is.
now.
Every angle.
So look at this, and we have a webcam up here too.
Oh my gosh,
Reggie, we got you covered from every angle. Good up today.
I know.
Reggie.
I have my Red Cross shirt on, so that's good. Right.
Reggie, I think everybody knows about the Red Cross. I
Sure.
think they have maybe an idea. What's the mission of the Red Cross? A mission that probably hasn't changed in years, right?
The Red Cross is here to alleviate human suffering, and we do that when people are facing emergencies, and we need to mobilize volunteers and the generosity of donors in order to get that done. And it's amazing that almost every single person in this country has a Red Cross story if they think about it, whether learning to swim or learning first aid, CPR. You have a relative in the military. Red Cross provides emergency communications and helps veterans. Just goes on and on and on. Blood services, donating blood, all of that is what we do every single day.
Started in 1881.
1881, Clara Barton, everybody knows that name. She was the angel of the battlefield, a real plucky woman that decided not to fit within the restrictions that people usually expected of women in that era. And she said, I cannot stand to see people suffering. This was during the Civil War. So
Right.
she mobilized people, primarily women, to go out there and help. So to this day, we're still channeling that energy from Clara Barton, which regardless of your background or your circumstances, if you are in need, we're there to help you.
There's really 5 key areas,
Yes.
right, of service. The one that probably people would reference most of all is disaster relief, right? That's
yes.
probably what comes to mind.
Oh, yeah, no question. Because we want to make sure people are prepared for the unexpected, the emergency of a disaster, a hurricane, flood. All of that is something we say, make sure that your family has a plan and a kit and a strategy so that you have resources until help arrives.
Mm-hmm.
But every single day, there are people who are facing emergencies to them, which is their own personal Katrina or personal Sandy. It's a home fire.
Right.
So that is, we have this big push now to make sure that you have working smoke alarms and smoke detectors, and we even are looking for volunteers to help us canvass neighborhoods to work in partnership with fire departments and other groups to say we can solve this. There's so many things in our community that are crises that you can't prevent, but a working smoke detector can allow somebody those few seconds that's required to get out alive, and that's important to us.
In addition to disaster relief, you support American military families,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
health and safety services. There are international services,
yes,
even though
yes.
it's the American Red Cross.
Right.
But we want to really focus on one other very pressing issue because we're in a bit of a crisis here in Richmond, and that's blood donations.
That's blood donation. Yeah, the American Red Cross is always in need of people to step forward to volunteer to give us that life-saving gift, which is blood. We're particularly in need of folks who have O negative blood because
there's a need for, we supply the hospitals, and there's a need for certain types that are universal so that we don't have a gap in delivery. We're looking for people to sponsor blood drives, and they can find out by going to redcross.org/blood, so they can see exactly what to do to get their company or their congregation involved in sponsoring a blood drive.
I really want to encourage listeners, everybody, to consider donating blood. And if you're in a position where maybe your business or your organization could sponsor a blood drive, I got to tell a personal story. I did not know until recently that my dad donates blood on a regular basis.
Wow.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
He just got a certificate from the local Red Cross because he donates blood like basically every other month, and he has a rare blood type, which is why. And I never knew that about him, and so that sort of has now made me want to do that.
Well, he's a hero. Tell him thank you.
Well, I appreciate. He's really proud of it.
Yeah.
He's really proud of it. But I just want to. This is a tough time of year, and we just want to make sure that if you have that capacity to either donate on your own or you could get your company or business, we really want to encourage. How can they reach out? How can they get the information?
They go to our website, redcross.org, and look for blood donations, upcoming blood donation sites in your area, and that's how you can get plugged into us.
That'd be really, really great. Reggie is the CEO of the Red Cross here. It's the Greater Richmond chapter of the American Red Cross. Reggie Gordon. All right, Reggie, how much of a football fan are you?
A little bit of a fan. I'm glad to be here. Right.
How exciting is this?
This is fantastic.
Really?
This is fantastic. This is big for us.
This is a really, really cool
Great
thing.
for Richmond, Yeah.
Well, there's no question. I mean, it sort of, puts Richmond, in such a spotlight. Tomorrow we've got the Houston Texans coming in, another team. So
I'll be back tomorrow.
It's going to be, really, really going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But again, we just want to encourage everybody to go to redcross.org. Because again, this is that time of year where there are people in need, just not with blood donations, but again, hurricane season's right around the corner. It seems like we see it on the news all the time. How many people in Richmond have houses at the river or down on the Outer Banks, right?
You got to get prepared. I mean, this is our main message. We're here to help people save lives, but the onus is on each of us as individuals to learn what to do, to get an idea of what you need to have in your home or in your office so that if something strikes, you know how to get out and get to safety. We're always grateful for our volunteers, our blood donors, our donors. All that makes this work for the Red Cross.
Again, the Red Cross provides life-saving blood to all area hospitals, and the support of the community is really, really imperative to help meet this need. So, again, I really want to encourage folks. I'm going to be doing it here as soon as we get a day off, and really want to encourage folks to hold a blood drive. I know my good buddy Mark Smith has 4 a year out there at Midas of Richmond. So, again, just want to make sure that folks do that. Reggie, it was a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thanks for everything that you and again, the amount of volunteers that you have, right? You couldn't do it without.
We have an army of volunteers.
If folks want to volunteer,
same redcross.org, but we're right here on Carey Street in Richmond. 780-2250 is our number locally. So if you have any kind of interest in helping at the front desk, helping with visiting people in the hospital at McGuire.
Sure.
There's so many ways that we can use someone's unique skill or interest to expand and fulfill the mission of the Red Cross.
That's really great. Reggie Gordon is the CEO. Thank you, Reggie.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Really appreciate it. Redcross.org. Thanks for everybody for coming out. Let's take a quick time out. We'll come back. More live coverage from Redskins training camp continues right here on ESPN 950.
You're listening to Hardly Working with Greg Burton, driven by Midas of Richmond. Live from Washington Redskins training camp on ESPN 950 and Sports FM 100.5.
Papa John here. People say all I think about is pizza. That's not true. I spend a lot of time thinking about what to eat with my pizza.
Introducing our new garlic knots, made with fresh dough and garlic Parmesan seasoning. Try them for the limited time online only price of $4. At a large 2-topping pizza for just $10 more. Order now at papajohns.com.
Better ingredients, better pizza, papajohns.com.
Limited time offer not valid with any other coupons or discounts. Prices, participation, delivery area, and charges may vary. Additional toppings and taxes extra.
Hey, Richmond, this is Mark Smith with Midas of Richmond. I have a simple question. Are you an automotive technician, or would you like a career in the automotive technician industry? If so, this commercial is for you. I need 4 to 5 techs, and I need them right now. We have more business than we can handle. We pay a very high flat rate wage, one of the highest you'll find in Central Virginia. We have a great development plan for general service technicians. We need help. We've got a full benefit package. We'll do nothing more than to work with you to make you the best tech you can be. Come in, take a look at our facilities. Talk to us. We've got state-of-the-art equipment. We've got great images. We've got a terrific brand. We've got good community presence. More than that, we've got a home for your toolbox. Give me a call at 360-2211 or stop by and drop off an application at any one of our stores. I would really love 15 minutes of your time, and I think I'm going to be able to make it worth your while. Give me a call, 360-2211. Midas of Richmond is an equal opportunity employer. If you want to talk, I want to listen. Thanks a lot. Have a great day. If you're looking for great financing rates, 0% for 75 months, where? On Sonatas at Pearson Hyundai. That's right, Pearson Hyundai, 9530 Midlothian Turnpike. Stop by and visit today. See the dealer for details. And you can get that Sonata for as low as $17,495. Everyone qualifies for that price. Make sure you can qualify for the 0% finance as well. How about Accents, Elantras, a Tucson, which is a beautiful SUV, where? At Pearson Hyundai, 9530 Midlothian Turnpike. Stop by and see them today. And on the web at PearsonHyundai.com.
Are you listening closely? You should be if you're searching for a position in the medical field. Patient First is currently accepting applications for nurses, medical technologists, and medical laboratory technicians for its medical centers. Reap the rewards of a competitive salary and an extensive benefits package. Apply online at PatientFirst.com. Patient First, an equal opportunity employer, has been providing convenient, cost-effective medical care for over 32 years. Learn more at PatientFirst.com and change your future today with a new career at Patient First. PatientFirst.com.
Hurry into your local McDonald's for some great summer specials before, during, and after training camp. $1 sausage McGriddle or 2 for $3.33 sausage, egg, cheese, biscuit, mix and match combos. Lunchtime specials include the Minions Bundle Box of 2 Big Macs, 2 medium fries, and a 20-piece McNuggets, topped off with frozen or classic lemonades, $1 large soda or sweet tea, or a 59-cent cone. Just steps away from training camp at 2700 West Broad Street. McDonald's is locally owned by FWL & Sons with 5 locations in the Richmond area.
It's working through the unexpected surprises that spring up with every project. It's character, and it isn't rattled by a little thing like a dead battery, especially when you can get a new one online at advanceautoparts.com and pick it up in store just 30 minutes later. We'll even install it for free, so you can get back to fixing faster.
Okie
Advance
dokie.
Auto Parts, for guys who love getting under the hood.
For the most part, yeah.
Locations. See store for details.
My name is Ethan North. I'm a breakfast defective.
Oh no, a
I'm
queuing
reaching
issue.
out to anyone trapped in their AM routine. We'll be at Taco Bell every morning starting at 7 a.m. If you're tired of eating sandwiches shaped like circles, we can provide something deliciously different. Like the biscuit taco. Eggs and bacon wrapped up in a warm, fluffy biscuit. Breakfast shouldn't put you to sleep. Stop yawning.
So we can't make the
Defect to
NBC
next
spots
generation
louder?
of breakfast at Taco Bell. Wake up, live Moss. At participating
Right, yeah, I'm doing it manually.
Today might be the day I drop out of school.
Richmond's 57,000 square foot family entertainment venue and restaurant is ready for the start of football season. We've got 38 lanes of bowling and 2 bars, including a 16-foot projection screen and 70-inch HD TVs with all the games. Our Red Embers Bar and Grill has a new football-themed created menu with Uptown Alley the entire season. We've got karaoke on Thursday night and music on Friday and Saturday night.
Still
Plus,
fixing
we can
itself?
host up to 1,500 people for your group outing. For more information, check out UptownAlleyRichmond.com or find us on Facebook. Uptown Alley is located at 6101 Brad McNair Parkway in Midlothian.
This is the time of year people go home shopping. Whether it's their first home or new home, it's a big moment. And Ben Burkett of Brand Mortgage is there every step of the way, just like he was there for me and my wife 8 years ago.
Thanks, Greg. We want our customers to shop for their home with confidence. That's why I'll conduct a thorough review of your finances and provide a pre-approval to avoid any surprises.
Call Ben Burkett today, 833-4303, or email him, bburkett@brandmortgage.com.
License numbers, NMLS 269591, MLS 75615, an equal housing lender.
The cloud, one of the biggest buzzwords in business today, and
No
no
problem.
wonder it lets you collaborate with people and access information from anywhere at any time. So how fast you get to the cloud matters. Comcast Business Internet gets you to
Queuing
the cloud
issues still
up to
going on.
66 times faster than T1. They also offer high bandwidth options like Metro Ethernet that can grow with the needs of your business. So stop thinking about the cloud.
is
Switch to
ridiculous.
Comcast Business and start using it to increase your productivity. Call 800-501-6000 today.
Now
or
they all
visit
disappeared.
business.comcast.com. Restrictions apply.
Are you ready?
Buzz from Buzz and Ned's here, reminding you that you haven't tried real barbecue until you've tried Buzz and Ned's real barbecue.
Hey, sports fans! Atlantic
You're good
Heating
after
and
this?
Cooling is now part of Woodfin, your home team. From heating and cooling
Take it
to
to the top.
electrical, plumbing, security, and more, Woodfin lives up to our long-standing reputation as your #1 faithful friend.
Last spot.
Our dedicated team of heating and cooling technicians, master plumbers, and master electricians bring decades of knowledge and experience to each and every call. We welcome the opportunity to faithfully serve you.
Today's coverage on ESPN 950 and Sports FM 100.5 is presented by HCA Virginia. Our exclusive broadcasts are also brought to you by Brandon Mill Woods, Costin Floors, and Patient First.
Welcome back, day 6 of Redskins training camp. Our live coverage continues from our ESPN 950 broadcast tent. Team out on the field. They've been there for about an hour. They'll go for probably another 55 or 60 minutes. And again, just helmets today, no shoulder pads. A lot of the guys in shorts. You know, they went hard in full pads there for a couple of days before yesterday's day off. Going to work out some of the, some of the aches and some of the pains and really get ready and revved up for the next 3 days, which will be joint practices with the Houston Texans. And clearly anyone that was here saw the benefit from a year ago. They saw the benefit from a year ago when the New England Patriots were here. And there's no question that coming in with the Houston Texans, I don't think there is a doubt that they feel like they can get a lot out of these joint practices, which will be, again, the schedule changes a little bit, so we want to make sure everybody understands. Tomorrow morning, they're on the field at 8:30, and that's a joint practice with the Texans at 8:30 in the morning, assuming they'll go for about 2 hours. The afternoon practice is technically a walkthrough that starts at 4 o'clock, and we don't have confirmation yet that the Texans are going to be out here in the afternoon. Last year, the Patriots were, but then they decided not to. So just don't know. But the bottom line is, you want to see them get after it, you need to be here at 8:30 tomorrow morning. And again, I guess they did the whole lottery thing, but so I mean just for Saturday's the lottery. Okay, for the actual scrimmage. So, okay, I got it. So no question about it. So that's what we've got coming up here in the 6 o'clock hour. 4 o'clock hour. We got Pedro Arruza, the head coach at Randolph-Macon. He's going to be joining us here in just a little bit. And we also are going to hear from my man Parney with his weekly check-in. All that is coming up. And again, the Redskins have signed 2 new cornerbacks to make up for some of the attrition that they have had with Draquan Hosky out of Henrico High and UVA, and Brian McCann filling the slots. Tevin Mitchell and Phillip Thomas got released. Let's take a quick timeout. We're going to come back. More Hardly Working ahead. Stick around.
You're listening to Hardly Working with Greg Burton, driven by Midas of Richmond. Live from Washington Redskins training camp on ESPN 950 and Sports FM 100.5. WXGI Richmond. WZEZ Goochland. We are ESPN 950 and Sports FM 100.5. Streaming live at ESPN950AM.com.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. Breaking news from ESPN's Adam Schefter. Texans running back Arian Foster will have groin surgery Friday in Philadelphia. It's not clear how much time he'll miss. Foster was injured Monday night at practice. The Texans looking to fill the void created by the Foster injury, unable to come to terms with running back Pierre Thomas. Ravens coach John Harbaugh again vehemently denying tipping off the Colts about the Patriots' alleged use of deflated footballs. The comments from Harbaugh coming one day after the NFLPA released more than 400 pages of documents related to QB Tom Brady's appeal of his 4-game Deflategate suspension. One document suggested Baltimore did indeed tip off Indy about underinflated footballs. Ravens linebacker Elvis Dumervil, dealing with tendonitis in his Achilles, returned to practice today. Bills GM Doug Whaley said the team is in a difficult spot in the most important position in football. Told WGR Radio they're almost in quarterback purgatory. The competition at training camp is between former first-rounder E.J. Manuel, veteran Matt Castle, and career backup Tyrod Taylor. Baseball, White Sox lead the Rays 5-4 in the top of the 5th.
Sports Center is brought to you by Little Caesars. Try our soft pretzel crust pepperoni pizza for just $7. Or try our cheese and pretzel dippers, 16 pieces with creamy cheddar cheese dip at participating locations plus tax.
ESPN 950 and Sports FM 100.5. Now to the Richmond Sports Center. Here's Matt Josephs.
It is 4:01, day 6 of Redskins training camp. They are on the field for the practice portion of today. The team making moves off the field, adding Henrico Product and UVA corner Draquan Hosky, as well as Brian McCann. The team let go of safety Phillip Thomas and draft pick Tevin Mitchell. Houston Texans will be in town beginning tomorrow morning at 8:35 a.m. Coach Jay Gruden was asked how far behind the 8 ball they will be.
They're behind the 8 ball a little bit.
First FCS coaches poll has been released. Spiders check in 18th to start the season. They begin practice tomorrow afternoon. Elsewhere, JMU is 13th, Liberty 14th. The Tribe on the outside looking in at 28th. Carilion has bought the naming rights of Castle Coliseum for $500,000 for the next 10 years. The court will now be named Virginia Tech Carilion Court. Squirrels hosting New Hampshire tonight at 7 o'clock. Nats take on the Diamondbacks in D.C. Washington, one game behind the Mets in the NL East. Coverage begins at 6:30 on ESPN 950 Sports FM 100.5. 4:02, you've been updating the Richmond Sports Hour.
You're listening to live coverage of Washington Redskins training camp on ESPN 950, Sports FM 100.5, ESPN950AM.com, and the ESPN 950 mobile app. Brought to you in part by our sponsor of the day, American Red Cross, helping people affected by disasters big and small since 1881, with volunteers, donors, students, and teachers. Find out how you can help at redcross.org.
Hello, my name is Reggie Gordon, CEO of Your American Red Cross in. Just like the Redskins are hard at work preparing for their season, our team is hitting the turf to help keep Virginians safe from disaster. Join our efforts to get ready VA by practicing your family's fire safety game plan. Build your disaster playbook at redcross.org/prepare.
Live from Washington Redskins training camp, you're listening to Hardly Working with Greg Burton, driven by Midas of Richmond on ESPN 950 and Sports FM 100.5. Online at ESPN950AM.com and also available on your smartphone and tablet.
Welcome back. Hardly Working. And it's day 6 of Redskins training camp, live from the ESPN 950 broadcast tent at the Bon Secours Washington Redskins Training Center. Greg Burton here, and boy, it's another hot, humid day here. The Redskins are out there for their 2-hour full practice, although not a lot of contact. They're not in full pads. They want to make sure who was drafted by the Redskins out of Fresno State a couple of years ago, struggled with injuries, and he's just never really been able to get it together. Unfortunately, he's out of the mix. Junior Gillette told the Richmond Times this match he's not going to be able to practice versus the Texans. And Jay Gruden confirmed Thompson when he was getting it done for Florida State, and he's really got a chance to make this roster. And a cool thing today that the Redskins Charitable Foundation teamed with our friends at Bon Secours to break down on a new Play 60 playground in the East End near Woodville Elementary. And you guys know I do a lot of stuff out there in the East End with the Salvation Army Boys and Girls Club. This Play 60 playground is one of the coolest things I've ever seen. It looks like a NFL combine. It's such a neat thing. Of course, Play 60 is the NFL's initiative to get kids active for 60 minutes a day. And it's a really, really cool thing that the Redskins and Bon Secours have done. They're going to build another one. I don't think I can say exactly where it's going to be, but it's going to be somewhere, well, very close to where we are right now, if I didn't spill the beans. And this is, talking about fitness is the perfect segue, right? I know I have finally found the way that I am going to get in shape, finally. And it took a good friend of mine to enlighten me. It is called Orange Theory Fitness. I want everybody to go to orangetheoryfitness.com/short-pump. It's coming to Short Pump October 1. My good friend from Orange Theory Fitness, Yetta, is here. How are you, Yetta?
I'm awesome. Greg, how are you?
I am awesome. Will I be awesome after my first 60-minute Orange Theory Fitness workout?
You're going to be fantastic.
let's talk about it. What is unique about Orange Theory Fitness?
So the whole concept behind Orange Theory Fitness is it's heart rate variability training. And that's a big word, but what it means is we actually make you wear a heart rate monitor. We get you into our studio, you do cardio, you do strength, you do agility, you do some plyometrics. You're doing a lot of interval training, but what we're doing is getting you in the orange zone, which is 80% of your max heart rate, in different intervals. So you don't stay there the whole time, but you get up into the orange zone and come back down, and you get up and you come back down. So what we're doing is we're holding you accountable. You come in, you put the heart rate monitor on. We've got flat screen TVs around the studio. It's like group personal training. The music's bumping. You got a trainer walking around with a microphone telling you what to do. And what you're doing is you're looking at that screen to see, well, is Greg in the green zone? Is he in the orange zone? Is he in the red zone? So you're doing what you're being told by the trainer, but you're getting instant feedback to say, am I working too hard or not hard enough? When you're finished with the workout, you get an awesome email report. Tells you how many calories you burned, what zones you stayed in for how many minutes and for how long. And then what happens is you, over time, not only get in awesome shape, but then you learn what is the proper exercise. And it's like being at a dance club. I promise you, if you don't like exercise, you will leave there and you will say, what just happened in the past hour? I feel great, I look great, and you're getting awesome results.
Well, so I talked to you, and we're going to tell about a really cool campaign that we're going to be doing. But I started getting a little nervous because I haven't worked out in a long time, and I'm thinking I can't keep up with these people. And you really put me at ease because you said I'm not competing against the other people in this class.
Right. You're not competing against anybody but yourself. And the really cool thing is when you hop on the treadmill, there's a nice little laminated card, and you can pick, am I a walker, a jogger, or a runner? And then we have a little grid that shows base, our push, and our all-out speed. So you can be on the treadmill, and you can have an elderly person to your right walking. You can have an athlete sprinting to your left. You can be jogging. You go at your fitness level, and then as you get more fit, your intensity will begin to increase.
Wow.
And you see all that through the monitor. So you look up and you say, I'm jogging, and I'm already in the orange zone, so I don't need to go any faster. Or you might be walking, and you're in the orange zone.
Wow. Again, I want to direct you to the website, orangetheoryfitness.com/short-pump, because the first one is going to launch in Short Pump on October the 1st. The countdown begins.
Yeah, we're super excited, and we're super excited to get you involved in what we're launching October 1st, which I'll do a little segue into that one, is we're doing a 6-week weight loss challenge. You come in 3 times a week. You do your workouts for 6 weeks. Whoever loses the most weight, and most people, by the way, lose 20 to 30% of their body weight, you get $2,500 cash prize.
Yes. So you're adapting it a little bit. I'm going to be doing it with, you're picking some other local media types, celebrities, whatnot, and we're going to do it for charity.
We are.
So, like I would play for the Salvation Army Boys and Girls Club, and now I really want to win $2,500 for them.
Yeah.
But they do this all across the country, right?
We do it all across the country. We'll do a couple of challenges a year at $2,500 cash money. January is a national weight loss challenge, $10,000 prize money.
I want to. So Yetta has a fitness background. You have owned and sold numerous fitness companies. So I think that's important to note because this isn't just a franchise that you bought into. This is really an area of expertise for you.
It is. It is. My background started as a certified personal trainer and did lots of stuff working for national fitness companies, buying, selling my own, starting different projects. And so what I decided was then I would go back to VCU and teach. So I actually teach in the Department of Health and Kinesiology. So we get into a lot of this with the students. Exercise students are trained around heart rate variability. So what I love about this company is they found the concept of how to make it a scalable model. This is science. This is evidence-based. All trainers teach this to their clients, but we just have never figured out how do we do this to the masses without it being super expensive. Because, you go hire a personal trainer at a gym, it's $60, $70 an hour. You can come in for $10 a workout and you're getting group training and you're getting guaranteed results. So to me, the science was there. I also had my MBA, the business was there. And then, of course, these guys who did this model also did the Massage Envy franchise model. So we've got over 600 locations already in the U.S.
Orange Theory has 600 across the country.
You have a membership. You can go to any club in the United States. We're going to have over 900 by the end of next year, and we're already in 4 countries.
Wow.
So there's no excuse, Greg. Wherever you travel, wherever you go, you can pick up the phone and say, get me my workout. Where's the nearest studio?
I'm genuinely excited. A friend of mine's going to do it with me, too, and I'm really, really excited because I think, really, since my son was born, I haven't been as active as I should be. You and I have talked about this, and this is the perfect thing. So I'm really excited to start on October 1. I think it's really going to be a lot of fun. I want to drive everybody to the website. Again, orangetheoryfitness.com/short-pump, because that's the location. that they're going to launch. Hopefully, you'll have more coming online in Richmond very, very soon.
Yeah, we're going to have 11 in the region total. By next year, we'll have 3. We'll have Willalon, we'll have Short Pump, we'll have Midlothian. We've got a lot of great people like yourself and other celebrities lined up. We've got the medical director of the Vascular and Heart Institute over at Bon Secours already signed up. I mean, researchers at VCU, and I'm talking as participants, but also supporting the organization. So we're doing some really cool stuff, and people are getting it, and they're the really people that do this and actually teach it. They're coming to do the workout because they know that it works. So that's so exciting to see.
I'm so fired up. OrangeTheoryFitness.com, my good friend Yetta, and you'll be seeing her out there, right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I'm going to be there all the time.
You're going to be there all the time.
I'm going to be there, and I'm going to be going, yes, Greg, go, go, go.
Greg, you're still in the green. Move it. You know, Yetta's a super nice person. We've gotten to know each other, but, like, I haven't seen the fitness instructor side of her yet.
Oh, yeah.
I fear it a little bit. Because I really think you're going to get on my ass. I really do think you're going to really get me like, come on, let's go, let's go, let's go.
Yeah, and you know what's really cool, though? When you get into this workout, you'll see the whole experience, the music, the energy of everybody. I mean, social norms is the greatest predictor of behavior change. Everybody gets in there, and it just becomes this experience. So you get it all. You get the trainer, but it's encouraging. You get all the people excited. You feel really good from the endorphins of working out, and it makes fitness fun again, and that's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be fun.
That's awesome. Yetta from Orange Theory Fitness. Again, go to orangetheoryfitness.com/short-pump. You're the best. Thank you so much.
You are too. Thanks.
October 1st, it launches. You're going to be hearing much more about it on Hardly Working and ESPN 950 as we move through football season. Quick timeout. We'll come back. Pedro Aruz is going to join us from Randolph-Macon next on Hardly Working.
Of Richmond, live from Washington Redskins training camp on ESPN 950 and Sports FM 100.5.
Hey, Richmond, this is Mark Smith with Midas of Richmond. I want to challenge you to think about something. If you had the choice between creating futures and resolving immediate, urgent issues, what would you do? That's a choice every hungry child faces in Central Virginia every day. They need to get fed every day. 53,000 kids need a hot meal every day. When we feed kids, we create bright, engaging futures. When we fight hunger, we address immediate issues. There is no more powerful thing than an idea whose time has come, and that idea is to feed these kids every day. When you choose Midas of Richmond to do your car care, you feed these kids every day. Midas brakes drive out hunger. Midas oil changes drive out hunger. Midas tires drive out hunger. You drive out hunger by the choices you make. Let's create bright futures. We can feed these kids. We can do it today. Check out feedmore.org for more details. Help us feed these kids. That's what Midas of Richmond and our community car care is all about. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.
Hello, my name is Reggie Gordon, CEO of Your American Red Cross in Virginia. Just like the Redskins are hard at work preparing for their season, our team is hitting the turf to help keep Virginians safe from disaster. Join our efforts to get ready VA by practicing your family's fire safe.
Perry Street in the Slip or in the Fan at 1309 West Main and get your
is now part of Woodfin, your home team. From heating and cooling to electrical, plumbing, security, and more, Woodfin lives up to our long-standing reputation as your #1 faithful friend. Our dedicated team of heating and cooling technicians, master plumbers, and master electricians bring decades of knowledge and experience to each and every call. We welcome the opportunity to faithfully serve you.
Has foot pain changed your life? Good Feet store, and no doubt you've heard my story. I love long-distance running, yet a few years ago the pain in my feet was debilitating. Finally, I went to the Good Feet store and found the answer: custom-fit arch supports. They helped so much, I ran my first marathon that year. Then, because I believed in the Good Feet products so much, I bought the store. Today, our customers tell stories of their own. Nurses, construction workers, and retail employees all tell of the debilitating pain that comes from long hours on concrete floors.
Hey, Greg. Mitchell. I'm calling you. Can you put Greg on headset for a second?
Richmond has been...
Hey, what do you want me to tell the 49ers when Eli Harrell calls, since we're not going to do it? Well, because they're calling in 7 minutes or so. I last I heard, I don't know for sure. Okay, no problem. Mitchell, I'll send you a message on the access thing.
For a new compact excavator or compact track loader, check out the Bobcat Advance.
Yeah, he's in San Francisco.
Other brands, whether you're looking for
Colin,
quality
so like
and
we're trying to sort of coordinate this, but so we're going to kind of do two segments here. We're going to do one where I just want to talk some football, like we usually do, and then we're going to talk.
Or better yet, see the Bobcat machines in person at Bobcat of Richmond, your authorized Bobcat.
That's right.
Visit bobcatofrichmond.com or call them today at 804-752-4999 to learn more.
ESPN 950 is brought to you by Carytown Burgers and Fries. Start your afternoon off with a bang. Now offering food and beverage specials every Monday through Thursday from 3 to 6 p.m. Today's coverage on ESPN 950 and Sports FM 100.5 is presented by HCA Virginia. Our exclusive broadcasts are also brought to you by AmeriGas, Lalo's Casino Bar and Grill, and Union Bank.
It's exciting. It's my favorite time of the year. I mean, you gear up for this the entire year and work towards this the entire year. So I can't, I say it every year, but you always get really excited for the football season. I mean, it's the best time of the year.
One thing that I've learned about you and know about you is like you're a preparation guy. I mean, you put a lot of thought. You're very deliberate before you ever snap the ball. And Red Sox or one explain isn't working and maybe try to adapt it to maximize results.
Yeah, I think you always have to learn and grow. And, one of the things that we always try to do at the end of the season is whether it's the way that we practice, the way that we're recruiting, things that we're doing scheme-wise on both sides of the ball. So, yeah, I know you ask me this every year, but, during spring break, I went down to the University of Houston and spent 2 days with that staff. Tom Herman, who was the offensive coordinator at Ohio State, is now the head coach down there. So I went down there for 2 days and talked offense with those guys and learned a lot. And then I went over to the University of Texas San Antonio. Their defensive coordinator and I played college football together at Wheaton College. So I went over there and talked defense for a couple of days. And then we've done an off-season study on Baylor. And, I've spent a lot of time just talking to different coaches and running different things by them and just trying to really look at the things that are out there and how they fit into your system. I think probably one of the biggest mistakes that you can make is to just come in and retool everything. So I think you have to pick and talking about that in our staff meeting this morning. I don't know if you're familiar with the, Stephen Covey concept of the big rocks. And so we talked about that, and I think you have to decide, what are your big rocks? What are the things that you're going to major in? So, we actually took our install sheet from last year offensively and met as a staff, and I said to the guys, I want you to take this home tonight, and instead of looking at the things that we can add, I want you to look at the things that we need to take away. We've got a freshman quarterback more than likely, and if it's not a freshman, it's going to be somebody that hasn't started for us after having a 4-year starter quarterback. So our philosophy right now is let's find a way to make it more simple, not a way to necessarily add things.
That's interesting because truthfully, that's what the Redskins are doing. They're trying to strip it down a little bit for Robert Griffin III because of the struggles that he's had, and they're essentially saying we need to run the football. If we can run the football, well then we don't have to rely so much on him trying to be Superman out there.
Yeah.
So whether it's D3
Yeah.
or the NFL, it's really the same thing.
Yeah, from talking to me, that's something I really believe in is running the football. And I think it all starts with that. Being physical up front and then being able to stop the run on defense. And, certainly in terms of how we've built our football team, not just our offense, but our football team, that's what it really revolves around. But I'll tell you what, over the years, the longer I've done this, what I've always found is this. When you simplify things, you always get better. I've always had that experience. You always go into camp and you say, hey, what if we add this? What if we do this? This looks kind of neat. But I think the best coaches find a way to, really, really boil it down to the things that they're going to be really, really good at. And it's a tough challenge sometimes because there's a lot of really good stuff out there, and you're watching games on Thursday night, and then you come home on a Saturday night and watch more games, and then you turn on an NFL game and you see something that's really neat. But it's got to fit in within your system and within the skill set of the players that you have. It all comes down to personnel.
Yeah, so Is there one thing you picked up, or can you tell us one thing you picked up that maybe you'll think about? A drill, a scheme, a philosophy?
Yeah, I think I'll tell you a couple things. The one thing that I was really, really impressed with, when I watched Ohio State play in the playoffs, and obviously I was a fan like anybody else watching them on TV, but the thing that really impressed me was how physical a football team they had. They did. And that wasn't something that I thought about them. You think about the spread offense, but one of the things that they did exceptionally well is they ran the football really, really well. Their receivers blocked extremely well. If you watch them on special teams, those guys are making plays on special teams. And, going down there and spending a little bit of time in some of their staff meetings and, or their position meetings, the thing that stood out, those guys just do a very, very good job of demanding a high level of excellence out of their players. They're demanding. They're businesslike. They're very professional, and they expect a lot. I think the bar is set very high there, and I think they're going to be very successful. You can tell that just from going in there and seeing what kind of an environment they've created there. So probably the biggest thing is just the culture thing and how important that is to establish a certain set of expectations and to hold your kids' feet to the fire and to make sure that you're demanding that out of them every. It's tough. It's tough because you go into a situation and you think, I'm building this culture and it's going to get better and better every year. And in many respects it does, but, there's ebbs and flows like anything else. You have really good years where you feel like everything's clicking, you're about to turn a corner and you're like, man, this thing's ready to take off. And then things happen, chemistry can waver. Leadership can waver from year to year. And I think it's a real battle every day, every year, just to maintain that culture and try to take that thing to the next level. So it's a challenge. I think it's a huge challenge, and I think any coach that I've talked to who does a really good job at that will tell you just how difficult it is, not just to establish that and develop that, but to keep it going.
Randolph Macon, football coach, Pedro Aruzan, back to being physical. One of the things the Redskins are doing here is they've got a guy, an assistant strength and conditioning coach, who's a martial arts expert.
Yep. It's a huge, huge deal. And I talked to one of the defensive coaches at Stanford a couple of years ago because one of my things was, okay, we're trying to build a tough football team here. You've got all this publicity about concussions and trying to make the game safe, which, we're all very much on board with. But, how do you do that? How do you run the football? How do you create a tough football team when you've got to limit contact and practice, and you've got to really be smart about the way that you go about it? The things that we did 10 years ago, I can promise you we're not doing anymore, okay? And one of the things that he brought up, this coach at Stanford, was they get after it pretty good, but they do a great job of teaching their guys how to use their hands and how to keep their head out of contact. So that's been a huge point of emphasis for us over the last couple of years. We've seen a huge reduction in terms of injuries, not just head injuries, but injuries overall. But that's a huge deal in the game of football. It's Joe Ken? Okay. Okay.
And it's funny, he's a really interesting guy. It's just, I've not heard very many NFL teams bringing in martial arts experts. But, I think that, we've heard in the past, coaches having players do, ballet because of footwork and balance and things like that. So I don't think it's a trend. I think it's really something that is legitimately helping and making an impact.
It is. There's no question about it.
Greg Burton, driven by Midas of Richmond. Live from Washington Redskins training camp on ESPN 950 and Sports FM 100.5.
At Tropical Smoothie Cafe, we believe there's no better way to make a great meal than with fresh, natural, quality ingredients, featuring our fresh flatbread, sandwiches, and wraps, such as the peanut butter banana crunch, chicken club, Korean barbecue steak, and cranberry pecan chicken salad. All topped off with a selection of smoothies, such as the classic Mango Magic, Superfood Rockin' Raspberry, Supercharged Triple Berry Oat, or Mama Mama. Visit us online at tropicalsmoothie.com for a location near you. Tropical Smoothie Cafe. Eat better, feel better. Your body will thank you.
This month at Havana Connections, we're heating things up with a 5-pack of the hottest brands and the hottest shapes. Regularly over $50, this 5-pack of Big Ring Gauge cigars is only $19.99 at all 5 Havana Connections locations. And that would be, of course, in the West End, downtown Shore Pump, the original Westbury Shopping Center next to Freeman, Hall Street on the south side, as well as the Midlothian Crossing Shopping Center. And don't forget, if you're in Williamsburg, you'll find them at the Newtown Square Shopping Center as well. Havana Connections, Virginia's humidor.
If it's in stock, it's on sale now at the Floor Trader during our annual summer sale. We're making room for new styles and more truckload buys by liquidating what's in stock now. Carpet, hardwood.
HCA Virginia is Richmond's home for women's and pediatric care. With 3 campuses, Henrico Doctors, Chippenham, and Johnston Willis Hospitals offering superior quality care for women and children, HCA Virginia delivers more babies and treats more women than any other network in Central Virginia. Our conveniently located family physicians and pediatricians provide care close to home when you need it for routine checkups, same-day sick visits, and school and sports physicals. Visit hcavirginia.com or like us on Facebook at HCA Virginia Physicians to learn more.
Today's coverage on ESPN 950 and Sports FM 100.5 is presented by HCA Virginia. Our exclusive broadcasts are also brought to you by City Dogs Hot Dogs, Mellow Mushroom, and Uptown Alley.
I'm good. How are you? Good, man. Tell us how things been going there at Niners camp. Things have been going great, man. You know, I've been taking reps with the 2s and 3s. I'm learning a lot. You know, body feels amazing. My hips have gotten better. My hands have gotten better. And I'm just learning each and every day.
What have the Niners told you that they want to, what they want you to work on and the role that they see you playing?
Well, I haven't they haven't told me anything about my role on the team yet. But just, you know, like I said, getting better each and every day, man, and dropping into coverage. I'm getting more natural at that. And, you know, just learning from Alden, talking to him and Amaya every day on, you know, pass rush, this and that in the meeting rooms. But, no, I haven't heard anything about my role yet.
Yeah, can you talk about some of the veterans that you're able to play with and what you've already, you know, been able to glean from them, what you've learned from those guys in just a short period of time?
Oh, Alden, man. Alden Smith, man, he's amazing. I call him Freak Show, man. He doesn't do anything wrong. I mean, like, it's amazing that no one can block him. Like, he's unblockable. The tight ends can't block him. The offensive line can't block him. He just does everything in a it's so unorthodox. Like, I can't even explain it, man. But I'm around a group of guys who, you know, are hungry and work very hard. Darnell Dockett, Ian Wims, all those veteran guys that I learn from each and every day, you know, picking their ear, you know, at the hotel. If I got a question, they're willing to answer it for me. So I'm in a very lucky situation.
You know, you were pretty good at getting to the quarterback when you were at UVA, but now that you're in the NFL, is a guy like Alden Smith trying to teach you that you can't be a one-trick pony? You got to have a variety of moves to get around, you know, these big tackles and guards to get to the quarterback.
Oh yeah, man, most definitely. You know, using your speed and your power. You know, Alden is one of the strongest guys I've met, and it's like when you're just looking at him, like walking around, you wouldn't think it, but when he puts his hands on you, you're gonna feel him. But yeah, he's taught me a lot, and just basically like just seeing the hands. You know, when you're pass rushing, just seeing the hand and letting the move come naturally, rather than thinking it and planning it. You know, because the good rushers, they just let things happen and go with the flow. So that's what I'm working on.
Eli Harold with the San Francisco 49ers out at training camp. We're not going to keep you too much longer because I know it's been a long day, but it's been your dream, right, to play in the NFL. And now that you're there, you just talk about your mindset and what's driving you day in and day out as you try to make an impact there in your first NFL camp?
Well, August 2nd just passed. My mother would have been 61 years old. We had practice on that day. Had a pretty rough day, but that's what drives me each and every day to be the best that I can be. On the field, off the field, better boyfriend, better brother, better uncle, and that's just how I go throughout my life now. You never know what you got till it's gone, man, and just never taking anything for granted, and just giving it my all, 100% each and every day. I was a kid, dreamed about this. This league since I was a kid. This is all I knew. I tell my teachers when on career day, hey, what do you want to be? They laugh and kind of joke, but I was sincere about that, and I made my dream come reality. I'm living it out now. So each and every day, man, I just think about the death of my mom, and that just pushed me and motivates me to do, go the extra mile and be the best at what I want to do.
One of your former teammates just got signed by the Redskins today, Draquan Hosky.
Oh, man, that's amazing. I didn't know that.
He worked out this morning. He's on the field right now, so we'll tell him that we talked to you, but he's going to try to make this Redskins squad, but he's getting a shot, and I know all the UVA fans are rooting for you, Eli. Keep doing your thing out there in San Francisco. Thank you for your time.
All right, thank you. Have a great day.
Something you talk about, right? You're a teacher. I mean, you're trying to teach the guys that are in your program how to be better brothers and boyfriends, to be better men, and then the football part will sort of take care of itself.
Yeah, that's a huge deal. I mean, that was the kind of football coach that I had when I was in college, and that guy, Mike Swider, impacted me as much as anybody's ever impacted me. And growing up without a dad, that guy had a tremendous impact on my life. He's the reason I'm a coach. So, yeah, absolutely. That's the number one thing behind everything that we do.
Pedro is the head coach at Randolph-Macon. When's camp start, Coach?
August the 15th. So our guys report on the 14th. And, yep.
I know you're excited. You got some good guys coming back. We were talking a little bit about your offense, so let's start on the offense because you got a young guy. You've talked about how you're sort of trying to strip things down a little bit, make it simple because you got a young guy that doesn't have a ton of experience pulling the trigger.
Yeah, and up front, I feel really good about what we have coming back. I mean, we have everybody on the offensive line coming back with the exception of a couple starters. But, we have a lot of guys that have experience and have played for us, so I feel good about our offensive line. A lot of veterans coming back. We have a tight end, Stephen Quinn, who's played for 2 years now. He's going into his junior year, but he was a first-team all-conference player as a sophomore and had a tremendous offseason. John Bird's back at running back. He ran for over 1,000 yards last year. Our biggest question mark's obviously the quarterback position. We didn't have anybody coming out of the spring that really emerged as a starter after, Zach graduated last year. So, we've got 3 freshmen coming in that I'm really excited about, and I'm going to give every one of those an opportunity to compete. So, we're going to have to make some decisions fast in camp because we only have 3 weeks to prepare for our opener. And it's going to be interesting, but I'm actually really excited about it. I like the guys that we're bringing in a lot. Talent-wise, I've evaluated them on film, feel confident about the evaluations, but I'll tell you what, the best part about it is having been around them a little bit this summer when they came in to work our quarterback camp. They're outstanding young men, and that's a huge deal. They've got a great work ethic, and they're just good people, and that's where it all starts.
And like you said, if you run the football, then a lot of those things, it takes the heat off, right?
Yeah.
It buys you time, right?
Absolutely.
It buys you time maybe to get to October.
Yeah.
When then this guy's got a few games under his belt, whoever the quarterback ends up being, and suddenly you make progress.
Yeah, I mean, the last time we were in this position, Zach Nacarado came in. He started as a freshman, and we went 8-2. Now, we would have liked to have been better than 8-2, but we were in every single game, and those 2 games that we lost, we could have very easily won. So, I'm not going to worry about it. I like the guys that we have coming back, and we're going to give them an opportunity to compete. We've got just about everybody coming back on defense. We lost 3 starters off our defense. So we've got the core of the defense coming back, and, my challenge to those guys is they've got to be able to carry the team a little bit early on.
Yeah, no question. Let's go over to the defensive side of the ball. So I think you have like 8 starters back.
Got eight starters back. Our entire secondary is coming back. That's a huge plus. I think it's taken some time to, build up that secondary, but I feel good about the guys that are coming back there. We've got some guys that have started for a long time. Connor Lane started his freshman year and is now going into his junior year. Eric Long's been a 3-year starter. Deshaun Rogers is going into his 3rd year as a starter. Ryan Burns was a 3rd team. Marcus Mitchell started as a freshman. We have a lot of guys that started early on in their careers who have played a lot of football for us. So there's no reason why we shouldn't be much improved on that side of the ball.
Well, that's good for culture too, right?
It is.
When you've got guys that have been playing that long in your program, it's tough when they're young pups, right?
It is.
There's like kind of a growing pain before you get the dividends when they're
It is.
juniors.
There's pros and cons. And I mean, when you're young and you're good, that's not a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? So, sometimes you've got a lot of guys coming back, and they're not necessarily guys that you're excited about having come back. But the group that we have coming back, I think there's a lot of potential in that group. And, we're not even going to lose them next year. We'll lose them in 2 years. So a lot of experience on that side of the ball and a lot of guys that started playing early.
And it's interesting because I think so often in the ODAC, offense steals the headlines, right? Because there's been so many good offenses. But if you've got some talent on defense,
Yeah.
boy, can that be the equalizer.
Yeah, and we've always tried to put a big emphasis on defense. We haven't always been exactly where we want to be on either side of the ball. But, that's always a point of emphasis with our guys. Important special teams, defense, running the football, stopping the run. I mean, those are the things that we built our program on.
The ODAC, just like every other year, is really tough.
Yeah.
Really loaded. Handicap the league a little bit because obviously there's a lot of talented teams coming back.
We've got 3 teams that didn't win the league last year that went 8-2. Okay, then you've got the team that won the league that we ended up beating. So we were a 500 team last year, had a disappointing year record-wise, and we ended up beating our conference champion, and we're in some of those games. So it's a tough league. I mean, everybody says it every year. It sounds it's becoming a little bit of a cliche, and everybody talks about the parity, but it is a battle every year and every week, and you've got a lot of teams that on any given week can beat anybody. So top to bottom, it's got to be one of the best leagues in the country.
But you feel good, right?
I do. Always feel good about it. Always feel good about it going into the season. And, I always say the same thing. Talent, that's we've had pretty decent talent every year. But it's going to come down to chemistry. It's going to come down to leadership. It's going to come down to toughness. I mean, if we have a tough football team and we have a great camp, I think you can usually tell during camp what kind of a team you're going to have. Are these guys willing to come in and grind it out every day? Are these guys willing to push themselves? Are these guys willing to push the envelope? You find out pretty early what kind of a team you have and how tough you're going to be. And if you're tough, you got a chance every week.
That's awesome. Your youngest son has a shirt on. I don't know what year that was. It says RFC football, Pound the Rock.
Yeah, every year.
I love that.
Every year.
I love that. Pound the Rock. So
Yep.
it's pretty straightforward and simple. Great stuff.
It's the program motto.
Pound the Rock.
Pound the Rock.
First game is
September. First week in September. You got it.
So
Johns Hopkins.
Johns Hopkins, and of course camp starts on the 15th.
Yep.
Pedro Ruza entering your 12th year
Yes.
at Randolph-Macon. And the 3rd year in a row, you've come down here to hang out with some training camps. So thanks, Coach.
Now, I appreciate you having me down.
Really appreciate it. Really appreciate Coach coming by. Let's take a quick time out. We will come.
You're listening to Hardly Working with Greg Burton, driven by Midas of Richmond. Live from Washington Redskins training camp on E50 and Sports FM 100.5.
Golf's final major starts next week, and DraftKings is celebrating by giving away $3.3 million in prizes and crowning the year's last fantasy golf millionaire. DraftKings.com is the leader in one-week fantasy golf where you could win huge prizes every tournament. Just pick 6 golfers, pile up the points, and pick up your cash. Anybody could do this, whether you love the game or just want to try a new fantasy sport. You've never experienced golf like this, with every long drive and made putt bringing you closer to $1 million payday. Sports fans just like you have been winning big all year long at DraftKings, including the first 3 fantasy golf millionaires. You could be next. The event begins with the tournament, so choose your golfers before next Thursday's tee-off for your last crack at winning $1 million. DraftKings.com now and use promo code RVA to play for free for a shot to become a millionaire. Enter RVA now at DraftKings.com. DraftKings.com, that's DraftKings.com.
Dear Big Bank, I know you don't understand that I have other financial relationships, but Park Sterling does. Their 360 online money management tool shows every credit card, loan, 401k, inside and outside the bank, and the graphics, like a game, showing every balance, how extra payments change a payoff date, spending trends. See you later, Big Bank.
Watch the 360 demo at parksterlingbank.com. Park Sterling.
I will. I got some spots to play.
Hi, this is David Knoll of the law firm of Cravens & Knoll. What sets us apart from many other law firms in the area? First, you work directly with your attorney, not a paralegal. We have 3 convenient offices in the Richmond area. We offer payment plans to fit your budget. We have years of experience in all state and federal courts. We have
reason I've been using promotional considerations for almost.
I mean, there's 1 minute, but I can make it longer. Parney's holding. Okay.
Promotional considerations 288-22.
Butter Keith at Bon Air Shell, 8762 West Huguenot Road. Go to
All right, let's try it.
bonAirShell.com or call them at 272-3232. That's 272-3232.
Virginia Surgical Hair.
Last spot. Yeah, about 9-10 minutes or so, if we can.
The choice for hair and facial hair transplants, whether you need to fill in your beard or may have a scar or previously couldn't grow hair. Virginia Surgical Center also offers follicular unit extraction and laser hair therapy. Call right now to schedule your free consultation at 804-273-1697 or go online to virginiasurgical.com. That's virginiasurgical.com.
City Dogs was voted best late night bite spot by the readers of Richmond Magazine. Now open on weekends until 3 a.m.
Today's coverage on ESPN 950 and Sports FM 100.5 is presented by HCA Virginia. Our exclusive broadcasts are also brought to you by McDonald's and Pizza Hut.
Two words, Chuck Norris.
There are no steroids in baseball. Only player Chuck Norris has breathed.
Harley Worker, what's up, buddy? It's 72 and sunny over here at the Diamond. 7:05 start time tonight. Gates open up at 6. So, hey, we had some of the friends from the Redskins were over here last night on their off day. Nick Sundberg, I think the kickers were out here. Not the Richmond kickers, the kickers of the Redskins. And my buddy Anders, who's the equipment manager, he was over here. So we've got a great relationship with them. Adam, was it Adam Sullivan? Yeah. Yeah, they had a good time. And Stephen Johnson was with them. They really enjoyed it. So it's a great thing over there. Hopefully our fans are going over there and watching a little bit of practice and then coming over here. Because guess what, man? We're only 1 game out of the last playoff spot now. It's an amazing turnaround by our players and by Augie. Just a phenomenal job. And we're in a position on August the 5th that we're playing very meaningful games. And when we were 17 and had the worst record in all minor league baseball, who thought we'd be playing meaningful games on August the 5th? So hats off to those guys. And we really need our fans to come out and cheer for them and take them. I really feel like this could be the year that we win the whole thing, but we got to get there first.
No question. So, kind of a cool thing. The homestand ends up Thursday, and then you're headed out of town this weekend. You're going to the Pro Football Hall of Fame ceremony in Canton, Ohio, to support your good buddy Jerome Bettis.
Yeah, really, I'm not at a loss for words much, as you know. But when I received an invitation from Jerome and my very good friend Jamal Dokes, who's Jerome's business manager, I couldn't speak for I don't know, probably about 2 minutes. And so we're very excited to go on. Tanya's going with me, and Lindsay and Samantha, my daughters, are going. So we're very, very excited about it, and we'll leave here in the wee hours of the morning. And I was reading somewhere the parties that we're going to, and just the entertainers that are going to be there. And I think Jamal told me that Jerome is going to have 35 former teammates there, including Potsy. I'll get to see Potsy again. I haven't seen Potsy in probably 4 or 5 years.
Coming out, and it's going to be really, really cool. So that's actually sort of the inspiration for today's list.
Wait, did he say that I was going to be there on Mike and Mike?
You are not. He did not say that you were there, and he also did not. And he probably doesn't want you grabbing the microphone and singing.
Oh, that's going to happen. I promise you, that is going to happen.
I think you should be up there with Slick Rick. That'd be awesome.
I want to be. Me and my boy Biz are going to be up there. Hey, can I just say, before we start the list of 29, I got to get one thing out of the way. Security is going to be very tight at my Hall of Fame induction parties, which they're going to be 4 to 5 of them. Most people have one. Jerome's having, I think, 2 or 3. Chuck Norris is my director of security. Let's just get that right out of the way, and Chuck Norris is going to be the main bouncer at my parties.
He could introduce you, too. He could be like the one that gives the speech to introduce you.
I think Lindsay and Samantha would probably be very upset about that, but yeah, we could do that.
Don't get over it.
Yeah. Okay, number 29. I'm being honest with you. I'm skipping around a little bit because I didn't put them in order. So number 29, let's go with the Fat Boys. Fat Boys are back. George Thorogood and the Destroyers, and we'll have a drink special. You know what it'll be? I want bourbon, I want scotch, and one beer.
Listen, just for the record, can we make sure that on the bill it says George Thorogood and the Delaware Destroyers?
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Okay, it was the Delaware. They kind of got rid of the Delaware, but it's the Delaware Destroyers. There's not a lot of famous people from Delaware. We're very proud of George Thorogood.
Okay, definitely. Number 27, let's go with the Charlie Daniels Band so we can sing The Devil Went Down to Georgia.
Dude, I knew that you had to have him, man. That was, and I knew this was also going to span all genres of music.
Oh, we've only just begun.
Number 26.
This is because I just don't, I want to find out what this guy's not going to give up. Rick Astley. Never going to give you up, never going to earn you down, never going to run you down, and desert you. Never going to say goodbye. Number 25. Let's go with Bruno Mars. Actually, I like that new song, Uptown Funk.
You like that song?
Yeah, I love it. It's on my workout shuffle now. Yep.
Number 24.
How about KC and the Sunshine Band?
Yeah, dude, I like that.
That's the way. I like it.
Number 23.
We got a theme going. How about Kool and the Gang? But it's got to be the real Kool.
Yeah, no. I agree. No, fake members of Kool.
JT was his name, right? How about the Sugar Hill Gang, one of the first rappers of all time?
Oh, that'd be so good if we had the Sugar Hill Gang there.
Yep.
Oh, my God, that would be excellent. This is really going to be a good party. Number 21.
Number 21, same type stuff, but it's local. Let's go with the Leg Warmers. Love me some Leg Warmers. And actually, my buddy Anders over there at the Redskins is friends with one of the guitar players or somebody. So the Leg Warmers are going to be at the party, too. Right. Let's go with Dirks Bentley because I want to get on stage and sing Drunk on a Plane. This is all about me being on stage, right?
Yeah, it's absolutely all about you. I was going to say, have you ever been drunk on a plane? And then I just realized that's such a dumb question.
Actually, I don't drink on planes. Really? Yeah. Is that the thing you're going to learn about Parney today? Because you learn something every week. I do not drink on airplanes.
We're going to have to go deeper into that. Number 19.
Let's see. You can be Brooks, and I'll be Dunn. Brooks and Dunn. We're going to stay country. I've never seen three people make more loud noises than ZZ Top.
Well, no, wait. You say country, but they're kind of like Southern rock too.
And you know what I'm going to be on my Hall of Fame induction? A sharp-dressed man.
Yeah, well said. Number 17.
Let's still stay in that category. How about the Kentucky Headhunters? They're not really famous, but I love their music. Dumas Walker and Walk Softly on This Heart of Mine. It's about as big of a love song as I get into.
Wow. Number 16.
Number 16, let's go with, let's change it up a little bit. Run DMC.
Wow. Do you think we can get Run DMC to play your Hall of Fame?
No, well, isn't one of them dead?
Oh, yeah, one dead.
Yeah, so I'll take his place, and boom, we got him.
15.
Eddie Money. So, 2006, we hosted the All-Star Game in Altoona, Pennsylvania, and usually when people host All-Star Games in the Eastern League, they have, come and play the gala the night before. Not this guy. Who do we have? Eddie Money! Brought in Eddie Money for an All-Star Game in Altoona, Pennsylvania. I've really been into this lately because I like singing Dust on a Bottle really loud. David Lee Murphy.
Yeah, I don't know much about him.
Yeah, you've heard the song, though. Might be a little dust on the bottle.
For the longest time, I thought they were saying dust on the Bible.
Well, there might be some dust on that, too. Yeah.
Dust on the bottle, dust on the Bible. And then I realized that song's really old because I remember that was out when I lived out west, and that's like 20 years old, easy.
Yep, it's a good one.
All right. Number 12.
One of my favorite songs of all time that's a tribute to, I think, my wife is a song Fast Forward by Kenny Chesney. So we'll have to have Kenny. You know why? Because you got to have the Honeysuckle Rose bus in the parking lot.
Man, oh man, that dude's awesome. All right, top 10 musicians or musical acts that Parney will have playing at his Hall of Fame induction party. Number 10.
How about Madonna?
What?
Yeah, Madonna. Like a Prayer's on my workout list, too. I love that song.
I like Madonna. I just don't think she's going to fit in this game.
Yeah, she will. It'll be fine.
Number 9.
Number 9, let's go with Jimmy Buffett and Alan Jackson.
Whoa. Now you're getting real. So we're going to have Willie Nelson and Jimmy Buffett there?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
I mean, this is like the bash of all bashes, right?
This is the one. I'll retire after this. Number 8.
Number 8, this is for Joe T. This is Joe T's band, the Marshall Tucker Band. Heard it in a love song. Heard it in a love song.
I would have never guessed that that's Joe T's band or song.
Yep, Joe T loves them.
Number
This is a personal band. Your listeners might not know them. It's a band called Reckless Kelly. They're out of Austin, Texas, and they're one of my. Well, they're probably the only friends I have that are in professional bands. They come to Richmond every now and then. It's a great band. They play about 200 shows a year across the country. Reckless Kelly will be there. Yeah, we could do that. As long as people that listen to your show buy tickets and support them, yes, we can bring them here. And Ants Marching is one of my favorite songs. Oh, I just saw Matt Duffy is all over ESPN right now. Can you believe that? Last year he played on our team, and now he's all over the place. Number 5, a little Earth, Wind, and Fire. We'll have all three of those guys here. In September. Toby Keith. Toby Keith. He's friends with Hermie Sadler. Hermie Sadler's going to be there with Jeff Jarrett, who I've become friends with. So Toby Keith's got to be there to hang out with those two fellas. That's right. Speaking of America, how about Hank Williams Jr.? Now tell me, Hank, why do you drink? No, it's no, we got 3. Did I mess up? How many we got left? I got 3 left. Luke Bryan, you know why? Country squirrel, shake it for me, squirrel, shake it for me, squirrel, shake it for me. Molly Hatchet. Yeah. Well, after everybody's had a good time and it's time to go home, we're going to get up on the stage with this band, and you're going to hear a dun 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Leonard Skinner will be the featured performer at my Hall of Fame induction ceremony. That's correct. And then we return home the following weekend, the 14th, 15th, and 16th. Grateful Dead night on the 14th. I didn't put them on because they're mostly dead. 15th is our annual Guns N' Hoses and Fireworks night, and then the 16th is Bubble Wand giveaway and Toy Hall of Fame tribute on August the 16th. After tonight, we have 11 games left in the regular season, but we need to make the playoffs, so come out and see us. Did Broseph have a stroke, or are we okay? We're fine. We're going to take a break, come back, and we're going to have a Redskin in our tent, and everything's all right. All right. Well, whoever it is, tell him Party said, "What's up?" See you. Bye-bye.
WXGI Richmond. WZEZ Goochland.
Don't stop until you've shopped Royal Chevrolet. We are closer than you think. Our gigantic 60-car showroom